Let's get an early look at the potential field for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Trust the profits. It's a formula here. If I look a little bit disheveled today, it's because I am just slowly coming out of quarantine after having COVID for a spell, a rough go. Starting to feel a little bit better, but I will probably pass out after this. But I did want to talk about the Breeders' Cup Classic because it is just around the corner, less than 2 weeks away. We've got a pretty good sense of the potential horses that could be in the Breeders' Cup Classic. It's a boatload of them. Some really good horses. There's no flight line like last year, so there's no definitive number one. I'll throw out the word generational horse out there. Some people want to argue Flightline wasn't generational, but hell, for people in my generation, I can't think of a more dominant horse of the time. So yeah, we've got some good horses here. It's very evenly cut. I've got my favorites, and we'll talk about those at the end. Let's go ahead and get started with Archangelo, winner at the Travers, beating the Charging Disarm by a length. Had a three-length lead going into the stretch there, eased up a little bit. Disarm had a wonderful charge at the end, but was unable to catch Archangelo, of course. At Belmont, we all know the winner there beating Forte by 1.5 lengths. Looks so strong there. I mean, just a great horse with a super charge at the end. Winner of the Peter Pan Stakes, beating Bishop's Bay by a head. Yeah, he's a stalker who stays about 1 length off the pace for the most part, and then just has a hell of a close at the end. Archangelo, probably the morning line favorite. I'm going to guess at about 5-2. Go Rocket Ride. Oh, look at this handsome gen here with that nice Go Rocket Ride hat on. Second place by a neck at the Classic, chasing down a closing down on Arabian Night. Arabian Night pretty much gate to wire in that race. And Go Rocket Ride gave him a real charge at the end there. It looked like he could have possibly taken that over there. And they've been trading some punches as well. Big win at the Haskell, beating Mage by almost 2 lengths in a field that also had Arabian Night and Tappet Trice. So the little rivalry there between Arabian Night and Go Rocket Ride, you always like to see that, especially between a Baffert and Mandela horse. I like to see the rivalries there. Win in June in the Affirmed Stakes in Santa Anita, going 8.5 furlongs there, winning by 1 3/4 lengths. Scratch out of the Santa Anita Derby, though, falling off of the Derby trail, much to the chagrin of many of us who are wanting to see one of the stronger West Coast horses make it into the Derby this past year, or this year, I should say. Um, yeah, Go Rocket Ride after coming back from that scratch and falling off the Derby trail, looking like he's having a very strong return. Mage, here's your Kentucky Derby winner, seventh, last place, last time out at Travers. Was pinched at the start. Started off in last place, looked tired at the end, didn't have it that race. Second at the Haskell, just under 2 lengths off of Go Rocket Ride. Third place finish at Preakness, 2.5 lengths behind National Treasure there and Blazing Sevens. Obviously coming off of a short rest there after winning the Kentucky Derby. Coming back from 9 lengths behind at the 3.25 mile mark to beat Two Fills by 1 length there. Second place at the Florida Derby. Yeah, so Mage, it difficult to think about where to put Mage in this group. Obviously, looked super impressive at the Kentucky Derby. Looked super impressive coming into the Kentucky Derby. Really only losing to like maybe Forte and just in the Fountain of Youth, still finding his legs a little bit. But where is he now? 2 wins in 7 races, one of those being the Derby. Difficult to figure out where to put Mage as well. But right now, he's definitely trending towards less than favorable. Saudi Crown, 3 wins in 5 races. Winner at the Penn Derby, beating Dream Length by 1/2 length. Not a hugely impressive field there, but a win's a win. Second place at the Jim Dandy at G2, where he set the pace, lost by a nose to Forte. Um, yeah, second place at the Dwyer Stakes, G3, where he set the pace there, lost by a nose to Fort Bragg. Gate to wire winner and allowance race. This is a horse that we've seen. I've got as the likely pace setter with lots of speed down the stretch. He's a pace setter in this race, I would say. We could talk about Arabian Night as well. There's a whole bunch of other horses out there. I'll be curious to see who sets the pace and then who gets burned out by the pace. Saudi Crown, though, has always looked strong off the pace, even though he has given up a couple second places. He hasn't completely fallen off. He's always been close to a challenger at the end. And here we go, Arabian Night. 3 wins in 4 races last time out. Gate to wire win at the Pacific Classic, beating Go Rock. Mentioned before by a neck. Go Rocket Ride gave him quite a bit at the end there. Third place in the Haskell to Go Rocket Ride in that one. Um, Finishing 3 and 3/4 lengths behind. Won the Southwest Stakes. We're going way back here. So previous to that race, the Southwest Stakes, when he was on the Derby Trail, winning that one over Red Route One, Frosted Departure. Got listed a whole bunch of horses of less consequence now. Um, at that time, a lot of us had Arabian Night at the very top of the Derby Challengers. Looked to me like the best Baffert horse in the stable. Yeah, Go Rocket Ride. I'm not going to read through the rest of it. Classic Baffert base bully. I'll stand by that. Um, he and Saudi Crown could be dueling for the pace on this one, and I'll be curious to see who comes out the other end on it. Ushba Tesoro. So 10 wins in 30 races. However, 6 wins in a row, including 2 G1 races, Dubai World Cup and the Tokyo Daishoten. Um, Stalked in his last race in September. It was sort of a prep race for BC. Charged from behind from 3 lengths back to win. Sorry, a 3 length win. He charged back from about 2 or 3 lengths back, and then won that one by 3 lengths. An impressive victory. Came from last place in the Dubai. Go ahead and watch that video. It's impressive. You hear his name in the back there like an also ran, but he really closes hard down the stretch to beat Algiers in that one. Ushpa Tesoro, shipping in from Japan. One of the 2 horses shipping in from Japan, and I'll go to the next one right here. Dermasoda Gake, 4 wins in 9 races. Last time we saw him, Kentucky Derby. Last time anyone saw him racing was the Kentucky Derby, where he finished fairly respectable 8 lengths behind Mage there. I say fairly respectable because, horses shipping from overseas. Japan haven't had a lot of luck there, but we haven't seen it much from him since. Previous to that, he was a winner at the UAE Derby and third at the Saudi Derby. Bright Future, Todd Pletcher horse. Winner of the Jockey Club Gold Cup, beating Proxy by a nose in that one. Previous to that, an impressive 156K, 9 furlong AOC race, beating Speed Bias by 4 lengths. His only other stakes race, Brooklyn Stakes, didn't look that great there. Finished way behind next in that one. Still a little bit green on this one. 7 races. Yeah, I know some of these horses have more, but in terms of stakes races, he's only been in 2. One of them was a flusher. The other one was a solid win, but really not a whole lot in that field. I mean, you have Proxy in that field, but the Jockey Club Gold was not super impressive this year. But Bright Future, there's a lot of people who really do like this horse. Senor Buscador. Oh, where's my image? Where's my image of Buscador here? Third place finish at the Awesome Again Stakes, 3.5 lengths behind Slow Down Andy in that one. The fourth place finish at the Pacific Classic, 2.5 lengths behind Arabian Night. Go Rocket and Slow Down Andy also in that one. Winner of the San Diego Handicap, a G2, closing from 8th place. To win by more than a length over Slow Down Andy in that one. 5th place finish at the Hollywood Gold Cup, 6 lengths behind Defunded. So I'll get through it here. In my opinion, from what I've seen from Senor Buscador, struggles in the G1s, looks great in the G2s and G3s. So if you're in a G2, G3, Senor Buscador, that might be a good bet. However, if you're in a G1, especially one like this, I'm not picking him as my favorite. I don't think he'd even finish in the top 3. The Awesome Again, yeah, he finished third in that, and it's a G1, but it it's not this. It's not the Breeders' Cup. Zandon. Oh, you want to know about this image? Yes, if you want to look for anything that is Zandon and not the horse Zandon, I found a community college basketball player with the first name Zandon. Congratulations, you made my list, son. 13 races, 3 wins for Zandon, 6 second place finishes. I mean, that's been the mark on him. Is he's been a great second place horse. Winner of the Woodward Stakes at G2, 4 lengths over Film Star. Second to White Abario in the Whitney Stakes, 6 lengths behind there. Second place finish again to Cody's Wish in the Metropolitan. In the Westchester Stakes, where did he finish? Altogether now, second place. Cigar Mile, we finished fourth place in that one. Deep closer, closer needs pace setters uh, in order to set a strong pace so he can close out at the end, passing tired horses. Who knows? Maybe this could set up nicely for Zandon, but keep in mind there are a lot of really good horses here. White Abario. Oh, White Abario. Impressive 6 length finish over Zandon, as we just talked about in the Whitney Stakes at Saratoga. Third place finish in the Metropolitan. 3.25 lengths behind Cody's Wish. Right. And right with second place Zandon. Yeah. Third place finish at the Cigar Mile behind Mind Control and Get Her Number, but beating Zandon. So we got a lot of Zandon notes here. Had struggles in the Derby, not looking like the same horse. I mean, here's the thing on White Abario, right? Four wins in 5 races up to the Derby. Looked super impressive. All of them at Gulfstream. Hit the Derby, looked less than impressive. 16th place finish. After the Derby, many struggles. Had a couple showings here and there, but mostly struggles. Transferred to Dutro. All of a sudden, at least in the Whitney, it looks like we're having what's the word? Yeah, we are having a reemergence of White Abario here. Yeah, a renaissance. That's the word I was looking for, not a reemergence. Um, but was that Whitney win enough? I mean, was that enough to say that White Abario should be the favorite at the BC Classic? I don't think so. I honestly am not super thrilled about White Abario here. A bunch of people are on board with White Abario, and I was on board with White Abario at the Derby, but right now I am not. Um, if he wins, would I be happy? Absolutely. I've been loving this horse, since we first started watching him in 2022, and all those Gulfstream races. Gutsy horse. Um, but I am not putting him in my top 3. Spoiler alerts. Proxy. This is a horse that loves to finish in the money. Second place at the Jockey Club Gold, behind Bright Future by a nose. Winner at the Monmouth Stakes, G3, beating Welland Springs. Last place at the Stephen Foster, losing by 8 lengths to West Will Power there. Just not looking like he had the room to make his move there. Winner at the Oaklawn G2. Skipping ahead. So my feelings on Proxy are this. 6 to 7 horses is prime Proxy. 7 to 8, not too bad. I mean, you look at the Jockey Club Gold. There are 8 horses in that race. Proxy was able to move up to second. Great. But this is a horse, much like Zandon. He needs some room to work with. He needs horses to fall back. He needs gaps to be able to move. Is he going to get that? I mean, we saw how deep the field could be. If it stays that deep, if it's 10 to 12 horses, I am crossing Proxy off my list. If all of a sudden it comes down to 7 horses, then Proxy is definite consideration because of what he can do at these distances and what he can do in some pretty darn good races. Clapton. Oh, yes. If only I had a drop here for Layla or something. And I don't. I know all you haters out there. I don't have a drop for Layla. 6 wins in 24 races. First at the Lucas Stakes, beating Trademark by a head. Fourth place finish at the Jockey Club. 2.25 lengths behind Bright Future. Not too far off there, but still 2.25 lengths behind. Second at the Suburban, 4 lengths behind Charge It in that race. Third at the Pimlico Stakes, 4 lengths behind Rattle and Roll. A closer that needs things to fall into place for him, and not one of the better closers, in my opinion. A great closer, right? You put him in a G2, perfect horse. G3, awesome, great. He's probably going to win it. But again, like I said about a couple of the other horses, I just think that when you're talking about the BC Classic, Clapton is going to be finishing somewhere in the back of the pack. That's my opinion. And moving on, here's our summary. Who do I have at the top as the safe pick? I have Arcangelo as the safe pick. I think a lot of you will agree with me on that. If not, let me know about it in the comments. That'd be great. If I'm going to give you a value play, and it's really tough to give a value play right now because we don't have the exact entries yet, and we don't even have the exact morning line, but I'm going to guess that you might get a price on Ushba Tesoro. Maybe. Maybe some smart money will come in and start betting up the Japanese horse. In that case, I mean, you got to look at where the money's not going to be then. I mean, are we going to look at Go Rocket Ride and say the money's not going to be there? Arabian Night, the Baffert horse, the only Baffert horse in the race. There's going to be money there. And then you have Arcangelo. And we could also start talking about White Abario, who I didn't put on this list, who's been looking much better lately, and a lot of people are all getting rah-rah behind. So I'm thinking you're going to get some value play out of Ushba Tesoro. And that leads me to my key here, which I'm going to say Arcangelo is the key. And then I'm adding on Ushba Tesoro, Go Rocket Ride, and Arabian Night. I really like those three horses underneath Arcangelo. I mean, in this race, like I said at the top, it's really close. Could be anyone's game here, but this is the way I see it as of right now. Anyway, once we actually get the lines coming out, maybe I'll do another one of these. Fun to do. Takes about 15 minutes from what I can see. Let us know what you think. Drop your comments below and give us a like, a little thumbs up there. We always like to see those. Thank you everyone for watching and good luck at the Breeders' Cup.